Hello, my name is Christine Campbell, and I'm your next conference speaker. I'm the president of the Alpha Content Company, a content marketing agency based in Houston, Texas. For over 13 years, I've created content marketing strategy and written marketing content like ebooks, white papers, case studies, and blog posts for business to business companies, mostly in the technology space. I'm an expert on B2B content marketing strategy, and content creation. I've spoken at conferences like the American Society of Business Publication Editors and the American Society of Journalists and Authors annual meeting as part of the content marketing track. I've also spoken at Affiliate Summit East, the Empower Summer Camp, and other conferences, and created e-courses to showcase my knowledge. Audiences and students come away with actionable advice they can use in their organizations, whether they're working in the marketing department of a large corporation or heading up a scrappy startup. But don't just take my word for it. Here are some clips I've managed to wrangle on video for you. And if you like what you've heard, email me at christine@thealphacontent.com to book me today. So, content does need to be valuable, timely, and trustworthy. And in journalism school, I spent an entire semester on ethics to try and get an unbiased view. What's different about content marketing is obviously the end goal is to sell something. It's not to be unbiased because eventually there is going to be that slant that sells something, but it's not right away and not right in your face. And also, unlike when I was in the newsroom, we're not churning out quick hits. We have more of a chance to take a features approach to it. So that's just a list of the general content that we're doing in content marketing. There's obviously more, and I put white papers on there because those are all also known as ebooks, special reports, what have you. They're great lead gen tools. A lot of people I've seen do something like the 5 biggest things you can do to improve your accounting software. So when you're writing the first step and the first thing in journalism is to plan. So how many people are using an editorial calendar already? Awesome. So a lot of content marketing advice is to become a media company, and quite frankly, nobody really has the resources to become the next Amex Open or the next Red Bulletin. But this thing in common they all have is using an editorial calendar. It can be done on an Excel spreadsheet, CoSchedule, Crescendo. There's WordPress plugins that you can use, or you can whiteboard it. But the most important thing to do is to start with themes and to start about 6 months out. And I say 6 months because that gives you time to tweak it, that gives you time to play around with it a little bit. But use themes that are relevant to your prospects. If you live in the running space, for example, you'll want to start working backwards from the Boston Marathon or from some of the big BQ type, Boston qualifying type marathons that people tend to run, and so maybe 6 months ahead, you'll start publishing information about those races, publishing training plans, publishing nutrition advice or tips for avoiding injury, the benefits of foam rolling. And so once you have those themes down, you'll want to start breaking it down into pieces of content. And you can get as granular as you want, but come up with some titles for blog posts, ideas for special reports, maybe some customers that would be willing to be interviewed for a case study, whatever works. You can plan to film a webinar demo, anything like that. But the idea is to decide how much content there's going to be, what the content is going to be, how it's going to fit into the theme. And when I talk about themes for, let's say, a month, not every piece of content has to be around that theme. The idea of a content calendar is just to have as a guideline, so you have several pieces of content that are going to be related to this, but obviously you'll have other content in there.
Morning.
So, when do you finally say enough is enough? What actually gets you to leave your stormtroopers and get into the world of working for yourself? My good friend, actually I've never met him, but I would love to, Tony Robbins says the change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Nobody really likes change. I don't like change. I am a creature of habit. Every morning, I get up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, I get the kids to school, and I go to the gym. Routine is my friend. I had a routine for a long time. That routine was working as a paralegal for progressively worse and worse attorneys. In 2001, I started working as a paralegal. I wanted to be the best paralegal I could possibly be, so I took the certification exams. I got a certificate. I was living in Boston at the time where there was an actual career path for paralegals, starting with being a junior paralegal and doing little tiny research tasks, all the way up to practically handling everything but trying the case. I thought that was awesome. That was what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, in 2004, we moved to Western Massachusetts, which is not Boston. It is nothing like Boston. I was a glorified legal secretary. I was typing from dictation. I wanted to rip my ears off. When my son was born, I went back from maternity leave to my office, which was the storeroom. Yes, I was Milton in office space. I actually did buy a red stapler for my desk, and nobody got the joke. Went back to my storeroom. My boss tells me he doesn't have enough hours for me anymore. So I took a job with litigators. Like I said, progressively worse. That job went down the tubes around 2009 when the economy started circling the drain. My next job after that, also with litigators and bankruptcy attorneys, was gone when I had to leave and pick up a sick kid at 9:30 in the morning. Sorry, my kid's throwing up. I'm not leaving my child at daycare. It was about that time that I started thinking maybe I should freelance. Maybe I should go out on my own. What am I good at? Well, the only thing I'm good at is writing. So I started picking up jobs here and there. I took a full-time job as a legal secretary in insurance defense, and this is where it gets really bad. This is where I would wake up in the morning, I would get up to brush my teeth, which was more like roll out of bed, kind of shuffle to the bathroom. I would see my cat on the floor. She'd follow me in the bathroom, and I'd just drop down on the floor, and it was at least 5 minutes before I could get up again and have the strength to brush my teeth. That was my life. It was miserable, and I wanted out of it. But what got me to change? What changed? That's my second child. This is my daughter, Rosemary. She was born in May 2011. Not everyone has this kind of a catalyst, but when I was holding that newborn baby in my arms in the hospital, just a few hours after she was born, it's just her and me. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I never want her to see me on the floor crying again. Unless, I break my leg or something, but that wasn't going to happen. I don't want her to see me getting abused every single day by a boss that does not appreciate me. I don't want her to see me living a work life that I hate.